Lion Books numbers 101 to 150. This is part 3 of 5 of showing the entire Lion Books run. And as you can see, is 50 of them from 101 to 150. Beautiful, beautiful spines. If you want to get a close-up on those. We did, just to catch you up on first of all, I'm Gary Lovisi, and we're going to talk about the Lion Books, which were begun in 1949. The first episode of the first 50 books, including the Red Circle books, was number 76. Lion Books 51 to 100 were shown in episode 84, and this is episode 118. So we're slowly but surely going through the entire series, and we're going to show you all the books from 101 to 150 now. That's from 1953 to 1954 or 55. And I'm just going to move these around. There's a lot of good books in this series, in this run, or this part of the run. 101 is Joy Street by Clifton Cuthbert. 102 is Bailey's Daughters. Number 103 is Eat Dog or Die by C. William Harrison. That's a pseudonym for, I believe, another Western writer who I cannot recall right now. It's a Raphael de Soto cover. Back covers of the lions show the lion logo and talk about some of the information and what the story is about. 104 is Little Killer. Young gun punk goes brute wild over a woman. A lot of good hard-boiled crime in this series, and now we're starting to get into the meat of the series. The Brotherhood of Velvet is 105. That's David Karp. David Karp wrote a few books for Lion. All of them are really intense, rather brutal crime novels. Number 106 is Sintown, USA. This is true crime, and if you see the previous videos, this is a reprint of an earlier Lion book. Number 107 is Candide by Voltaire. Classic, and it's given a sexy good girl art cover. And we're getting some of the good stuff we already had in previous Lion 99, The Killer Inside Me by Jim Thompson. Here's another Jim Thompson, number 108, Cropper's Cabin. 109 is The Naked Storm by Simon Eisner, who was C.M. Cornbluth. Number 110, quite a few of these are under pseudonym. Number 110 is The Peddler by Douglas Ring, who is actually Richard S. Prather, and this copy is signed by Richard to me. Interesting thing about this is when he told me that when he did this book, he sent it in, and he sent it in under the pseudonym of Douglas King. And they says, no, it couldn't be Douglas King. It must be Ring. So they put Douglas Ring. They changed it. Number 111 is Company K by William March, a post-war novel, GIs in, I believe, Italy. 112 is The Man I Killed by Shell Walker. They framed him with another man's gun and his own woman. That always hurts. The Montana Vixen is number 113. That's Paul W. Fairman. Green-Eyed Wanton Tames the Virgin Frontier. Great Western good girl art. This was originally a handy book, The Heiress of Copper Butte, and then they retitled it when they reprinted it in the Lion series as the Montana Vixen. A lot of the books, most of the books in the Lion series are paperback originals, but some are first paperback printings of reprints of hardcovers, and some are also reprints of other paperbacks. Number 114 is Luther by Roy Flanagan, interracial novel or racial novel. Number 115 is Cora Potts by Ward Green, the story of a girl who lived like an animal. Kind of a rural noir. Number 116 is Saskia by Claude Maris, the lusting, brawling days and nights of a great artist. And it's the story of Rembrandt. Number 117, Run the Wild River by D.L. Champion. The shocking truth about the Mexican wetback traffic. It says so right there. So William Kunstler cover art.
William?
Morton Kunstler. Yeah. William Kunstler is the lawyer. Yeah, Mort Kunstler cover art. Next book is The Haploids. One of the few science fiction in the Lion Books series. The Haploids by Jerry Soule, number 118, has an incredible Raphael de Soto cover, sexy good girl art cover with a syringe, and this copy is signed by Jerry Soule. Back to David Karp again, number 119, Hard Man. A hoodlum turns loose the brute in every man. Another one of those really tough, hard crime, brutal novels by David Karp. Now we have Jim Thompson in number 120, Recoil. A parolee breaks loose in a city befouled with dirty politics and dirtier living. That's Recoil, Jim Thompson. Paperback original. All the Thompson paperback originals and the Matheson and the Richard Matheson and Robert Bloch and David Goodis. There's a lot of good books in this series. Strange Path by Gail Wilhelm is Lion number 121, and it's an early lesbian novel. Then you have kind of a political book, Life and Death in Soviet Russia, by L. Campesino, Lion 122. This is, he was tortured and condemned by the Russians. It's kind of an early version maybe of Gulag Archipelago-like kind of book about the treachery and the horrors of Soviet life in prison. Number 123 is Don't Dig Deeper by William Francis. A town full of mobsters, a sin-crazy woman. Could one man take them both? I believe that's a McGuire cover. Am I right?
No.
No, it's not.
That looks like nappy.
It's like nappy. Okay. Next book is 124, classic book, great read. The Burglar by David Goodis. His code was honor, his destiny was evil. Great read. They did a couple of baseball books too in the Lion series. They seem to do, they specialized in hard-boiled noir crime and also in westerns. There's a lot of westerns in the series, but every once in a while you'll see a baseball book, a book on religion, a book on politics, a science fiction novel, They threw in an eclectic mix of books, but the mainstay was a hard-boiled crime in the westerns. And the 125 is a baseball book, and it's baseball stars of 1953. Basically, they have stories about the famous stars of that era. Talking about the westerns, Mojave Guns by Roe Richmond is lion number 126. A white outcast pits his blood hunger against the Apache Raiders. This is one of the lions. Some of these lion westerns are very, very scarce. This seems to be pretty rare. Seems to be a pretty rare one to find. And it also has a back cover. It's Arizona in 1875. Wraparound cover. Okay, so we looked at those. That's 25. We're going to put those on the side here. And we're going to look at the next group. Number 127, we start off with The Alcoholics by Jim Thompson. An evil woman prowls the dark halls of a sanitarium. And this is an interesting cover because, like, obviously he's in a sanitarium, he's an alcoholic, and here she is with a nurse with the bottle, to keep him inebriated. And so you're getting like some really kind of sleazy stuff there. And then you go from there to number 128, His Great Journey by Manuel Komaroff. And we're going right into religion now. It's the story of Jesus Christ. And then number 129 is 44 by H.A. DeRosso. The whole range knew his job. Kill. Number 130, Sharp the Bugle Calls by Steve Fraze is another nice, kind of tough Western. Back cover, it's a wraparound cover. Quite a few of these had wraparound covers, and they were really nice. Number 131 is Bourbon Street by G.H. Otis. Otis only wrote 2 books for Lion. His real name was Gaylord, Otis Gaylord, and the 2 books that he wrote for Lion were paperback originals. A loot mad thug takes New Orleans apart. This is a great sleeper. This is an incredible hard-boiled noir book. In fact, both of the Otis books in the Lion series are something you should track down and you should read, and you will savor them. They are outstanding. Hard-boiled noir, tough books. Tough crime. Number 132 is Cry Flesh, again by David Karp. This is a novel about a mercy killing. I don't know, in Karp's brutal fashion, I don't know if the mercy was real or not. May have just been something that somebody conceived. Number 133 is The Dark Chase, or Nightfall, by David Goodis. Originally it was Nightfall. They changed the title. I believe this is the first paperback printing, and the cover art, I believe, came from one of the crime digests, maybe Justice. One of the crime digests used this cover. Number 134 is Colorado Creek by E.E. Halloran. They stripped him of his badge and thrust him into a blazing range feud. Colorado Creek. Number 135 is Half by Jordan Park. This is another gay male book. Jordan Park is C.M. Kornbluth, science fiction writer, writing under pseudonym. Lion 136, Fighting Man, is by Mark Morgan. Another tough Lion Western. There's quite a few of these lion westerns are pretty tough to find. Number 137 is a classic noir crime. Someone is Bleeding by Richard Matheson. Men, they're all pigs. And that's a Saul Levine cover, wraparound cover that he did. This is a PBO from 1953. Very much sought after book. Classic Matheson crime. Number 138, Dark the Summer Dies by Walter Untermeyer Jr. She dragged an adolescent to the lowest depths of high society. This is another sleeper, a really good crime noir novel. Underrated very much. Number 139 is Gunman's Grudge by George C. Appel. A killer rips apart the untamed frontier. Even the westerns of Lion were hard-boiled. They were tough, hard-boiled, kind of brutal books. Number 140 is Cockpit by Warwick Scott.
Easy for you to say.
It's an auto racer, drug addict, and a woman who shared both of them. Tough book. For some reason, this is a tough book to find. And in nice condition. It's not the greatest copy, but it's pretty hard to find. Number 141 is Rooming House by Bertrand Rocher, an evil place ruled by a perverted woman. Says so right here. There she is, probably looking on. Then they have like some war books. Frontline Correspondent Braves the Bullets to bring you the whole true story of Korea. And it was Lion 142, I Was There by Ken Jones. And it's the story of the Korean War, because at the time these books were being published, the Korean War was being fought. Number 143, The Wild Bunch. A Texas killer tosses his .38 into a range war. This is by Peter Dawson. Another tough lion western. Number 144, A Tent on Corsica by Martin Quigley. It's a post-war novel set with American GIs in Italy, or in Corsica.
Looks like Lily.
Looks like, it does look like Lily. I wonder if it's her. And he's a GI tail gunner on a plane, and he's on Corsica Island. Number 145 is Malenkov by Robert Fraser. I don't know too much about this book. This guy, it says that he was the new ruler of Russia before or after Khrushchev, maybe for a very short period of time. I don't know, but I don't really know anything about him. He probably came in after Stalin and before Khrushchev, maybe for a short time. Classic, given the good girl art treatment, is number 146, Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. And this is kind of not the way you figured Frankenstein, but that's the way Lion interpreted Frankenstein. So, number 147, The Wench and the Flame by Robert L. Trimmel. Rebellious men lusted for this border woman. And it's cover art signed, but I can't make it out. Signed down here. Nice cover. Another one of the few science fiction novels was number 148, Doomsday by Warwick Scott. I believe that's a science fiction novel. Now we have 149, Bad Boy by Jim Thompson. He crammed 20 furious years into the search for new thrills. One of the tough Thompsons. And the last one, number 150, Lawman's Feud by Steve Fraze. He led a manhunt into the savage Badlands. And there you have Lion Books, number 101 to 150. A while back, a couple of subscribers who collect Lion books or who are interested in them or just interested in reading them were wondering where they could get some of the books if they were reprinted in new editions. And there is some information out there about Lion books that I want to just pass on to you. First of all, let me just get my glasses so I can see. Issue number 86 of Paperback Parade is sold out, but it has, for anybody that wants to look for it, for this issue. If I can find it. Okay, it has Dan Roberts, late Dan Roberts, wrote an extensive, excellent article on the best of the Lion Books paperback original noir crime novels. And this article goes through all of the different Lion books. And then he talks about, because he had read all of these books, picks out the best ones and talks about them, gives them a rating. And these are just some, some of the usual ones by the major authors he talks about, but also quite a few of them that people never heard of or aren't that well known, and how excellent his books are. And it has Sin Pit in here, Paul Mescal's only book, which I'll show you later. So that's Paperback Parade 86. That's out of print now, but you can still find it. The article by Dan Roberts was reprinted in the Starkhouse, one of the Starkhouse classic noir books. Starkhouse did at least 3 books reprinting classic Lion books. And in their book in 2016, they published Hero's Lust by Kermit J. Dacre, The Man I Killed by Shel Walker, which we showed earlier, House of Evil by Clay and Michelle Lipman. And the introduction in this book is by myself, and then Dan Roberts' article is reprinted here. So let's see, this is my introduction to these 3 Lion books, and then Dan Roberts' extensive article is reprinted from Paperback Parade in this issue. So that's these three Lion books reprinted. Starkhouse did also a couple of years, I think it was a year later, he did 3 more. They did 3 more of the Lion books. Greg Shepard of Starkhouse is bringing out some incredible, beautiful books and reprinting a lot of the classic Lion, Gold Medal, and other really hard-boiled noir classics. And this is another one, Tall, Dark, and Dead by Kermit J. Dacre, The Savage Chase by Frederick Lorenz, and Run the Wild River, which we saw before, by D.L. Champion. This is a Maguire cover from The Tall, Dark, and Dead. And it has an interview from Paperback Parade that was published years ago by George Tuttle with Lion book editor Arnold Hanno. So that's another book for anybody looking to reread to read some of these Lion books. Not necessarily being a collector, not necessarily wanting to pay the collector price. You can find these for $19.99 is the price on these, and they're a really good deal. There's also one other Stark House trade paperback which I have, but I couldn't find it. But I do want to mention it, and it has Lion number 100. One is a Lonely Number by Bruce Elliott, which is an incredible hard-boiled noir book, and it is combined with a gold medal classic by Elliot Chase, Black Wings Has My Angel. So those two books, one's the Lion and one's the gold medal, are in that other Stark House trade paperback. And the other thing is that in 2004, we haven't gotten to Sin Pit yet, but in 2004, Paul Mescal was a guest at my paperback show, and we reprinted his only Lion book, Sin Pit, which we'll get to in the next episode of this Lion book list. Paul was a great guy. He wrote a lot of true crime, and this is signed by him. He was quite old at that time, and this is one of 7 for the paperback show in 2004, which he was a guest. It uses the original Lion cover art with the Gryphon logo, and it's a crime classic number 1. So there you have a look at the Lion books 101 to 150. Hope you enjoyed them. They're a cool series, some great reading, some great collectible books there, some really important books too in the crime genre by key authors, and then also some more recent books that have to do with information on Lion books, as well as some of the novels that have been reprinted, which I think you'll enjoy. And this way you can get them at a more reasonable price in a brand new book that came out within the last few years. Stark House has some really good hard crime noir novels. They have their series, the Black Gat books, are really terrific. They're regular paperback size books, single books. And the trade paperback series is terrific. And they usually have 2 or 3 classic, really great cult, fantastic books, combined into one volume. So those are some that you want to take a look at. The other thing is, again, I just want to let you know that the Lion books number 1 to 50, including the Red Seal books, were shown. All of them were shown in episode number 76. So if you want to go back and look at those are available in this channel. And also Lion books 51 to 100 were shown in episode 84. So if you want to look at those, maybe you didn't know about those. We think we're not starting off in the middle of the run. So we're up to now 150, and the next episode that we'll do is 151 to 200. That'll be this is the 3rd of 5 of the Lion books episodes, and the next will be 4 of 5, and then that last one, 5 of 5, will show the last group of Lion books from 200 to I believe it's 233. So we're slowly but surely we're getting there. We're doing the entire Lion books run, and you can look at earlier episodes to get a look at all the books up to this time in the series, and there's other books to look for if you're interested in reading some of the more unknown but really, really excellent crime noir in this series. So if you enjoyed this video, I hope you did. Give us a thumbs up and subscribe. Tell your friends about this channel. And thanks a lot for looking. See you next time.